Here are the 7 worst mistakes that you can make in Rise of Kingdom that can set your account back by days, weeks, or even months, depending on the type and severity of the mistake. So if you're starting off the game or in pre-seasonal conquest stage of the game, stay tuned as this video may be able to save you from making those mistakes. But what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Channel Musi Gaming here, and today let's talk about some of the most common but worst mistakes that people make that sets their accounts back by quite a long time compared to other people's account that have stayed efficient. And let's just face it, I made those mistakes when I actually made almost all of the mistakes that I'm about to list out to you. So I'm making this video for one, so that you don't make the same mistakes that I made because these mistakes have set my account back quite a lot. And most of those mistakes I had to spend through to basically reverse all the damages that I've done. But some of those mistakes are actually irreversible. The damage from those mistakes are actually irreversible. So just my suggestion is that you make sure that you watch through this video thoroughly and make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that I made in the past as I play this game for 1150 days in my main. With that said, let's just go ahead and jump right into mistake number 1, wasting too much gems before you reach VIP 14. Now, when you start off the game in the earlier stage of the game, like you get so much gems that you kind of feel like you can actually use them on different things like speed ups and whatnot. Some of the other things that you can like you're really tempted to actually spend those gems on are those Wheel of Fortune uh fortunes that you can spend 3,600 gems to actually spin 5 of those Wheel of Fortunes for so that you can get legendary commanders or legendary commander sculptures depending on what stage that you're in the game. But yeah. And when you first start off the game, you get like, let's say, holy site capture rewards. Like when you first capture one of those guys, Shrine of War. It gives you 3,000 gems just from capturing it, and then it gives you like 100 hours of speed ups, right? And there's like a lot of those that are just scattered through the map that you just get just by being part of an alliance that actually captures those, right? You get another 3,000 here, and then there's like 5 of those that are like in this zone alone, and then there's a lot more that are on the outer zones. And also at the same time, each and every one of those passes actually, I think, gives you like 2,000 gems per. So you're like stacking gems when you first start off, and you really think that, hey, like I have enough gems. I have like 50,000 gems that I'm sitting on. Maybe I can use them on speed ups and occasional Wheel of Fortune spins. But no. And here's why. On this account, I played this game for 40 days, but I've actually reached a VIP 12 on this account. And I have spent, quite frankly speaking, 95 or 96% of my gems on VIP points and VIP points alone. And as a result, I was able to get legendary commander sculptures accumulate legendary commander sculptures as much as possible. At day 40, I'm currently sitting on 228 legendary commander sculptures right now, despite the fact that this account is very young. Now, granted, I bought every single one of those Writers of History packages and whatnot, but I feel very comfortable about where my account is standing because I can assure myself that I have worked towards getting that VIP points up as much as possible. And then my next few weeks priority is going to be hitting that VIP 14 so that I can maximize the daily income of legendary commander sculptures from daily exclusive VIP 14 exclusive chests. And the reason why that's important is simple. For you to actually run a 5-man march, that is 5 marches that have primary and secondary as legendary commanders in this game, you'll need about 7,000 legendary commander sculptures in this game, right? And for you to quite frankly just get that from the moment that you hit VIP 14, it's going to take you more than 2,000 days, 2,333 days, 34 days to be very exact. That's more than 4 years that you need to actually invest in just from logging in to claim those legendary commander sculptures for you to run 5 different men marches. And that is the basic requirement that a lot of seasonal conquest kingdoms have for you to be able to field on the field. So with that said, granted that you'll be able to get a lot more sculptures from, let's say, events or writers of history packages and whatnot, like you still need a lot of legendary commander sculptures from daily logins. And the only way that you can actually get more of those earlier on is by hitting VIP 14 at the earliest possible day, right? Let's say I was actually hitting VIP 14 from day one, right? Then I would have had a lot more, probably. At minimum, I would have had like 60 more legendary sculptures than however many that I have right now. And in this game, unfortunately, if you don't have an expertise commander in the game, your efficiency on the field, on the gears, on the rally, does go down quite significantly. So that's why it is very important for you to maximize your VIP points until you hit VIP 14 on your account. And if you are wasting gems on anything else beyond that, that is a huge setback that you're actually suffering from making that mistake. Now, there are a couple other things that I would say that could be possible ways that you can use use the gems outside of VIP points before you hit VIP 14. And that is, let's say you're entering KVK 1 already and you are for sure not going to hit VIP 14, but you have to fight right away. I think you can probably spend enough gems for you to pull on 이성계 YSG. That is actually the Wheel of Fortune commander that comes after your 3 Wheel of Fortune spins of Richard comes. So at this point, this is our first Wheel of Fortune for Richard. And in 6 weeks, I'll be able to see 이성계 YSG show up in my Wheel of Fortune. And in 6 weeks, let's say I'm nowhere close to hitting VIP 14 and I'm still at VIP 12, and I have like what 70,000 gems sitting around. It is arguable that those gems that you have can be better spent by max pulling on Isange Wheel, which will give me about like I think 100 Isange sculptures at the end of the day, than hitting VIP 14 right away, because having Isange and expertise Isange on the field or not is a crucial difference in your performance in your first KVK and second KVK at the end of the day. And eventually, you can actually swap that expertise Isange to a different commander once you enter KVK 3. So that's why there are some exceptions, but general rule of thumb, I would suggest that you actually spend 99% of your gems until you hit VIP 14. And you might be thinking like, hey, like I didn't spend as much as you did on this account, on my new account. Like there's no way that I will be able to hit VIP 14. Should I still do it? And my answer is yes, because you have to hit VIP 14 regardless of like eventually anyways. Even if you're free to play, you have to hit VIP 14 eventually on your account. And it's just matter of how like your the faster you hit, the better it is. So even if you hit VIP 14 at a year into the game or like 2 years into the game, it doesn't matter. You still have to hit VIP 14 for you to maximize your daily efficiency that you get from daily legendary commander sculpture efficiency at the end of the day. So I would say yes, you should still consider trying to hit VIP 14, even if you're not spending as much. If you need more gems, farm barbs, farm gems from gem nodes as much as you can so that you can expedite that process as soon as possible. And if you're free to play, you want to play competitive, you have to be barb chaining all the time so that you can maximize your daily gems, hourly gems, whatever it is that you like to call, and then you can just farm resources on your farm accounts. But yes, again, mistake number 1, wasting too much gems before you reach VIP 14. Don't make that mistake. I'm telling you, this is probably one of the most important lessons. If this video, like you only watched this video up to this point and you're like, hey, like, I don't know if I want to continue watching this video, cool. Even if The one takeaway from this video is actually that you don't waste so much gems before you hit VIP 14. I'm glad that I made this video because this is the number one mistake that everyone makes in this game. But anyways, that's basically my suggestion. Please, please, please stop wasting your gems before you hit VIP 14 and then put all of your gems, if possible, into hitting that VIP points so that you can hit VIP 14 as soon as possible. All right. And number two, the second mistake that second worst mistake that I think that people make in Rise of Kingdoms is actually investing in too many commanders. And this is actually most notably explained by my alt account. Oh, actually, not my main account. Let's just go ahead and jump into my main account. So, granted that we didn't have, just keep in mind, we didn't have commander swap event happen when I first entered KVK3. So the situation that you're in is different from mine because the situation that you're in is that, oh, you can actually still run a great KVK1 and KVK2 with epic commanders and one legendary commander pairing and not waste any gold tests at all. But back when I was playing my KVK1 and KVK2, like people who are playing in those KVK1 and KVK2 did not get a chance to actually swap those commanders that I'm about to explain to you into Season of Conquest commanders at the end of the day. So there were some kind of situational differences that I had, but here's the thing, like there's no reason, in my opinion, that you should ever expertise Saladin in 2025. Even if you're a rally lead for your kingdom, let's say you're a cavalry rally lead for your kingdom and then you're entering KVK Season 2, right? There's zero reason that you should be investing in your force skill and expertise for Saladin because simple. For one, it takes, I think, half of your legendary commander. It takes about 300 plus legendary commander sculptures for you to actually expertise Saladin from reaching 5551. But I personally thought it was a good idea for me to expertise Saladin because it gives you 300 extra damage factor from his expertise from his active skill once you expertise him, right? Back then, I thought it made sense, but in reality, those 300 legendary commander sculptures, once you hit Season of Conquest, you would desperately hope that you did not spend those legendary commander sculptures on Saladin. And actually, in all honesty, at this point, I feel like I shouldn't have invested in Saladin at all. Because here's the thing, even though I was a rally lead for my kingdom did not really give me that many Saladin sculptures because there were other migrants that were actually taking over Mighty's Governor event. I don't know why they took Mighty's Governor event. I think it was stupid. But back in 2011, the kingdom's king did not like me. Yeah, my kingdom's king did not like me and then didn't really give me that many Saladin sculptures. So I had to invest 635 legendary commander sculptures so that I can rally with Saladin at the end of the day. And yeah, it was tough. And now I'm looking back at it. Yeah, those 635 legendary commander sculptures, guess what? Could have been used to expertise Qin Shi Huang right away, which is the strongest commander in Rise of Kingdoms that I'm like lacking what, like 150 commander sculptures for me to actually 160 commander sculptures for me to actually expertise him. Yeah, if I didn't invest in Saladin, guess what? I could have actually had Qin Shi Huang expertise. If I didn't have if I didn't invest my last 350 legendary commander sculptures to actually expertise Saladin, guess what? I could have actually had expertise Qin Shi Huang, and then I could be rocking that on the field. So, yes, it may look important for you to actually invest in Alexander the Great, the Richard the First, Charles Martel if you're putting in legendary commander sculptures on him, and like CJ, those like KVK Season 1 and KVK Season 2 commanders in the game, it might feel very, very worth it at the time that you're investing in. But beyond the 2 legendary commanders that you're investing in that you can potentially swap them out to Season of Conquest, Expertise Season of Conquest commanders at the end of the day, it is a big mistake that you're investing in too many commanders in earlier part of the game. Actually, Charles Martel for me is fine because I actually had him expertise without putting any legendary commander sculptures on him, and then that's why he's missing some skills at this point because I already swapped him out with Arthur. So that's why he has this. Also, I used Cao, which was another gold key commander that I was able to have expertise so that I can swap him out for I think John. Yeah, John for my siege march at the end of the day. So yeah, again, it doesn't matter how many legendary commander sculptures that you get every single day if you just invest in too many different commanders that you can actually not commander swap once you enter Season of Conquest, and just waste all those legendary commander sculptures that you invested in those commanders at the end of the day. So even if you have a good legendary commander income by hitting VIP 14 as early as possible, if you don't have a good spending habit for those legendary commander sculptures, simply put, is really going to set your account back by a lot. And again, like I said, I made those mistakes before. It set my account back quite a lot. And anything that I put in Boudica Prime at this point, although I have stopped at 5551, thank God, like that is all going to waste. I could have just used Zhuge Liang with YSG instead of having Boudica in there, right? But I invested in Boudica before Zhuge Liang was actually a thing. So again, investing in too many different legendary commanders, especially before Season of Conquest, is going to result you in great inefficiency in your account. So make sure you have for pre-Season of Conquest command. So people who are in pre-Season of Conquest KVK format, make sure you invest in only 2 legendary commanders. Unless you're a Mega Whale, then fine, you can actually invest in other commanders. But like even then, I don't recommend it. But like yeah, if you're in the earlier part of the game, make sure you only invest in 2 different legendary commanders that you can be used in pair. My suggestion is that you actually get YSG expertise, because he's, for one, you can get him from Wheel of Fortune, that technically can be used with just, can be actually, can get legendary commander sculptures from Wheel of Fortune, right? So you have a lot more access to him, for one. And then two, Isonge's power level in KVK 1 is absolutely great. Like, it is unmatched. And KVK 2, it is arguably still one of the top 3 at best, right? At worst. So like Isonge is an amazing commander that you can use for KVK 1 and KVK 2. And once you have him expertise, he's just gonna do his job. And you can just swap him out for a different Season of Conquest commander once you actually hit KVK Season 3. Isonge and his pair. For example, let's say you're an infantry commander, infantry main, right? Then you can actually just invest in Charles Martel, which you can get a lot of sculptures from, the what's this called, the gold keys at the end of the day, and you can just use Charles Martel with Isonge and then run that one infantry march, and then run rest of it with like epic commanders like Sun Tzu and Bjorn, the epic version of your Bjorn. And like, if you have Minamoto, you can run Minamoto with Ethelfled or whatever, or Bybars if you want to do more damage on the field. Whatever it is that fits you, just work on one legendary commander pairing. If you're a cavalry main, you run Minamoto. You can just buy Minamoto from VIP shop, VIP exclusive like packages. And then you can just work on Isonge, and that way you don't have to actually work on other legendary commander at the end of the day, because you cannot swap out Ethelfled or Minamoto into Season of Conquest commander because you didn't really buy or invest legendary commander sculptures on those commanders. So yeah, So yeah, cavalry you can run Minamoto with Isonge. I would even say like you don't even need to invest in Saladin unless you're rally or garrison lead at the end of the day. Yeah, and then just run something else. Run like Charles Martel with Medmed. Have Charles Martel 5-1-1-1 just from gold heads and then gold keys, and then you know, have run like Medmed with 5-1-1 with just gold keys. Like you'll be, those are not unachievable dreams. You know, those are all very possible even if you're just pulling that off of gold heads at the gold keys at the end of the day. So yeah, again, mistake number 2: do not invest in too many commanders, especially before season of conquest. Now, mistake number 3: crafting non-meta legendary accessories. So what I mean by that, so there are a lot of accessories that are in the game that is available for you before you enter Season of Conquest. Now, there are many different legendary accessories and they all look great on paper. But there's only 3 legendary accessories that are actually worth investing in or in crafting. And those are, and I'm just talking about in general. In general, there's only 3 legendary accessories that you can actually craft before Season of Conquest, and that is this Karukak's War Drum, which is great for the field, great rage generation, and then there is, where is Greatest Glory? There's Greatest Glory, which will give you normal damage buff. Now this can be used for some of the commanders that only use smite damage or normal damage only, or combo damage. So this can be used to kind of buff your normal damage dealing commanders. But yeah, that's another one. Greatest Glory is another one. And then arguably now Pendant of Eternal Night, because I think Qin Shi Huang, which is the latest legendary skill damage dealing commander, and this accessory actually gives you skill damage buff now. So those are the only 3 accessories that you can craft before you enter Season of Conquest. And when you enter Season of Conquest, you can actually craft Horn of Fury and Ring of Doom from your KVK shop. You can get blueprints from those in the KVK shop, and this is the only place that you can actually get them. And to be really, really honest with you, I would even say that like crafting Greatest Glory and Pendant of Eternal Night is even a stretch. I would say if you're in pre-Season of Conquest part of KVK, I would say just craft Karukak's War Drum and then use it with epic accessories like Silent Travel. I would, if possible, I would just run those 2 for most of your Rally Garrison too, even if you're Rally Garrison League, because those actually work. This gives you more extra rage. This actually takes away rage from the enemy, and rage generation is one single most important thing in the game. And I would not even like craft Greatest Glory or Pendant of Eternal Night, because those came into meta because of smite damage dealing commanders, as well as Qin Shi Huang doing just too much skill damage. But in general and in average, technically speaking, once you enter Season of Conquest, Horn of Fury is the gives you most amount of rage generation in the game, and then that paired up with Ring of Doom, which in average gives you the most amount of all damage buff in the game, kind of paired up together are basically the ultimate thing that you can actually run, with the exception of drums sometimes, because you can actually mix 1 or 2 drums in your murder ball or like 5 march lineup, so that your main, like the damage dealing marches actually gain extra rage from, you know, having the drums around your main march. So having drum crafted is fine. I think that's probably the only legendary accessory that I'll craft before Season of Conquest. And then having horn and ring crafted once you enter Season of Conquest is what I would recommend. And that's just basically what I'm running too. If you look at my lineups, you can see my best cavalry set is this. I have ring and horn, all talented, all iconic 5. My second cavalry is running ring and horn. My Qin Shi Huang, which is actually my main archer march, is running march speed. Just because I think I'm missing some march speed on him. I don't know why. and Ring of Doom. Jin Shi just for your reference, doesn't really benefit too much from rage generation, so that's why I have Ring, and I run out of horns. So yeah, I gave him those. And you can see my Bai Chi is missing an accessory. You shouldn't be doing that. Accessory is really, really important. But actually dismantle accessory to iconify my weapon. But then again, yeah, my Bai Chi, my infantry number 1 march is running just a drum, so that it can buff other marches that are around. And if I were to choose, I'll probably give this guy another horn, so that he can maximize his rage donation for himself too. Yeah, so that's basically what I'm running. So again, ring and horn are the most important, along with drums, having that mixed in there in your murder ball so they can generate rage for your 5 march murder ball at the end of the day. All right, so again, mistake number 3, crafting too many or crafting any non-meta legendary accessories is going to be a mistake that you cannot reverse, and that's going to be a mistake that's going to set your account back quite a lot. Now, mistake number 3, you have not joined the top alliance in your kingdom. Now, let's just go ahead and move back to my restart account. And when you first start off the game, what I recommend most of the people that comes to me for account coaching, because that's what I do for my channel most of the times, I actually give coaching and guidance services to people who are subscribed to my channel. It doesn't really cost you anything. I just take a look at his account, his or her account, and then, hey, like, you should probably do this and that. But number one thing that I actually do recommend every single one of them is actually try to join the number 1 alliance in your kingdom. And the reason why you're doing that is simple. For one, you'll have the most amount of access to any of the first capture rewards for your kingdom. For example, if we were to capture this lost temple, which is actually which is going to give you the kingship for the kingdom, most likely the number 1 alliance in your kingdom is going to actually be able to capture this and get that first occupation rewards at the end of the day, right? And that first occupation rewards is 5,000 gems and 3 hours speed, 150 hours of speed ups with 3 teleports, right? And then any of those like passes and towards that lost temple, you can see that 2,000 gems, 50 hours of speed ups, 3 territorial teleports. All of those are going to be basically given to members of the top alliance. So that's neat. For 2, whenever you join a top alliance, I don't know if our alliance actually have all those legendary bundles, the gold chests and whatnot. I actually opened all of them. I'm sorry, but when you actually join the top alliance, you'll be able to get the most amount of VIP points, gems, and speed ups from other alliances, other alliance members spending in your kingdom and in your alliance. For example, if I think this was a gold chest, this was an iron chest, from other people spending in your kingdom, you can get VIP points, 500 VIP points. That's like free 500 gems for people who have not hit VIP 14, right? Because what I said earlier, you should be spending every single gem that you have, 95% of the gems that you have, towards VIP 14. So that's 500 gems right there. 5 minutes of speed up's fine. This is a younger thing. Let's see if I can find any gold chests here. Let's see if I can showcase some of the rewards of gold chests. Yeah, golden chest. It gives you 50 gems. Sometimes you get unlucky with that, like that. Again, 10. Oh, some people spend. There you go. Just how much speed ups and VIP points that you actually get. Just look at it. Like, look at how many. Oh, it's 60 minutes of speed up. Okay, cool. And sometimes you get like 15 hours of speed ups, gems, VIP points. You can see that 2.5 hours of speed ups from bronze chest. Gold chest, I got 400 VIP points, 600 VIP points from another gold chest, 600 minutes of speed ups from gold chest. And just by sitting, there you go, another gold chest, 2,000 VIP points. That's equivalent to 2,000 gems, equivalent to $10 of you spending on this game. It is crazy the difference in how much progress that you can make in your main alliance versus the not main alliance in your kingdom. So make sure you try your best to power up as much as possible in the beginning part of your game so that you can actually join the main alliance in your kingdom. Because the difference of progress that you can make in the main alliance and then sub alliance is going to be tremendous. And it's so different. The amount of difference is so huge that if you have failed to actually join the main alliance for your kingdom, I would actually recommend that you should either one, uh, try to talk to your alliance, talk to your kingdom leadership to see if you can get into the main alliance once the members count actually goes up. Because as you develop through your technology, you'll get more members unlocked. You'll have more member capacity for your alliance at the end of the day. So, like, as time goes by, you might be able to actually make it to the main alliance. Or two, look to actually even migrate to a different kingdom that can actually have you in the main alliance, because the difference is that much. Difference is so huge that I think you should just try to join the main alliance for the kingdom, or you should just bounce. Because of, again, what you saw right there just now, you saw so much VIP points that I was able to get just by sitting in my alliance for no reason, right? And we're not even like the best spending alliance in the game, right? We're not even like the highest spending kingdom in the game. We just are a sleeper group, and luckily I was part of the main alliance for the kingdom, and I was able to make the progress that I really didn't expect for this account, that I'm not really spending a lot on just because of other people spending within our alliance. So again, rule number 4, the mistake number 4, you have not joined the top alliance in your kingdom. And I would suggest that you either migrate or try to join as they get more member headcount up in the technology. All right. So yeah, mistake number 4, make sure you don't make those. All right. Number 5, you try to become a rally or garrison lead as a new account. Now, this is okay if you're in KVK1, because if you're in KVK1, the people who are not in KVK1, I think, cannot migrate to your kingdom yet. So you're just basically fighting amongst other people who have just started around the same time as you did. So it's actually pretty fair, and you can rally garrison with your account whatsoever. And you can try to get the legendary gears, legendary equipments for your cavalry, archer, infantry, whatever it is that you main your troop in. Then you can try your best to expertise all of them, and then try to run rallies and try to be strong in your KVK1. But guess what? Starting after your very first KVK ends, it in Rise of Kingdoms, the system actually allows other people who are in the later part of the later stages of the game, like people who are in actual Season of Conquest stage of the game, to be able to migrate back to KVK1 kingdoms. And although they will only be able to use commanders that are allowed to be used in KVK2, they're going to have a crazy advantage over you on equipment. And no matter how hard you try, you will not be able to actually beat people who has played this game for more than 1,000 days. Let's just go ahead and take a look at my gear, for example. This is my main account's gear. Boom, it's iconic 5 everything, iconic talented full, right? I wouldn't be able to use the KPK weapon and helmet because I'm not in KPK weapon and helmet. I'm not in Season of Conquest KVK, because those are for Season of Conquest KVKs only. Maybe the ring and horn too, but just looking at those 4 pieces of equipments that are iconic 5 and talented, are I can just destroy anyone that's in my way. And as a matter of fact, I still have the ones that I use in my KBK 1 and KBK 2. The iconic 4 weapon that's talented, iconic 1 helmet that is talented too. So even if I use those 2 and then just the 4 iconic 5 gear that I have for my main, I would destroy any garrison whatsoever if I rally as a cavalry main, right? And it is just unfair for you, even if you have like a screw you amount of money, even if you have like unlimited, like bottomless wallet, it will be, I would say it is impossible for you to have better gears than people who are migrating into your kingdom after your first KVK. But in KVK 1, you'll be fine. But then again, your KVK 1 only lasts about like 1 month. After a month, all your investment for you to kind of provide the best for your kingdom really doesn't stay with you at the end of the day. And I made the same mistakes myself as well. And let's just go ahead and pull up my Discord where I actually shared this before. This was my KVK gear, KVK 1 gear. And this is like what, like 3 years ago? Almost. And yeah, I've tried my best to get the best equipment for the game. I had the best equipment in the server that I was in KBK 1. You can see that I'm running Minamoto with YSG. And I have talented chess piece, talented Ash of the Dawn, the pants, and then I have talented boots. And then by the time that we actually did start rallying for other people, I did have Navarre's Control critted as well. And I basically had the full pre-season of Conquest set completed at KVK Season 1. And when I actually had this, there was no iconic vibe. So I was actually a lot, like, systematically, I could have, like, there was no person that could have had better advantage than me than having a talented weapon and helmet. But just from that alone, I still wasn't the best garrison or rally starting season KVK season 2. And you can see that my KVK season 2 equipment looked like this. You can see that my Navarre's control was critted. You can ignore the dagger. Back then, dagger was considered worth it, just before season of conquest has started. And then there was actually 3 KVKs before you enter season of conquest instead of 2. Nowadays, if you enter KVK 3, you enter actually season of conquest, so it's different, right? But yeah, this was pretty impressive back then. This was like almost as close as you can get from having the best equipment in the game before you enter season of conquest. But even then, I was weaker than other people who migrated to our kingdom in 2011, just because they were playing this game a lot longer. And even though they weren't able to use KPK weapon and helmet, they had the critted weapon at the end of the day. So they had an advantage over me. And I made this mistake and I spent a lot of money trying to catch up, try to provide, try to be that rally lead. But at the end of the day, yeah, like it wasn't worth it. And trust me, it wasn't worth it. I would suggest that you don't do the same mistakes that I made, especially now, because now there's iconics, right? And back then there was no iconic. So if I had everything critted, then I would have basically had the same level of equipment as other people. But now there's iconics. So if I'm fighting with this, which is basically 0 iconics, like iconic 1 except for the weapon. And if I went against my other set that had like the full iconic 4, 5, all of them iconic 5 except for the helmet, because I didn't get enough kills on this KVK. And then everything talented, I would get destroyed on the field, on the rally, on the garrison. Whatever I do, I'll get destroyed by whoever is holding this, no matter what kind of commander pairing that I'm running. So, yeah. Mistake number 5. My suggestion is that you try not to become a rally or garrison lead as a new account. Again, it's not because you you have not spent enough on this game, but they're just things that only comes with time. And uh per each egg event you can get like what max like 2 to 3 blueprints, like max, even if you get like the luckiest luck in the world, you can get like 2 to 3 blueprints per egg event. But guess what? You need like so many of those blueprints for you to have them iconic 5 and talented, right? So try not to be a new rally or garrison lead as a new account. That's just my advice. It would cost you a lot more. It would cost you 3 times as much as just raising a regular field fighting account, and it would just not be worth it because there would always be people who migrated back to KVK1 that would have better gears than you. All right, so mistake number 5: do not try to become a rally or garrison lead as a new account is my suggestion. And mistake number 6: wow, we're getting very close to the 7 mistakes, is not doing building or researches first before you do other researches. And that's what here's what I mean. When you first start off the game, you have a couple researches that are very crucial that you should absolutely prioritize over other researches. And those are writing, which will give you 10% research speed at level 5, mathematics, which will give you 15% research speed once you hit level 10, engineering, which will give you up to 35% building speed, and masonry, which will give you 15% building speed. And my suggestion for prioritization is research speedups first, because guess what? The building speed up researches are also researches. So if you get the research speed researches done ahead of time, then you'll be able to actually spend less speed ups on your building speed researches, right? So again, you should always prioritize getting the mathematics and writings done before you actually start working on your building speed ups. And once you're done with those, then you should actually spend your speed ups a lot more onto, getting your city to the max city hall level, which is city hall level 25, and then switching over to Korea, and then try to unlock T4, T4 text, and then T5 at the end of the day. But before you do any of those like T4s and whatnot, you should always try to prioritize getting the research speedups and building speedups first. Because guess what? Like later part of the game, let me actually see if I have that on my farm account, because I think I just finished a research. And I don't know if I have any of them available. But if you want to do a research, like war research, like right before hitting VIP 10, I don't think I have that one. Let's just look at this one, right? This one takes 7 days and it goes up exponentially. I think this last one that I actually did for the level 9 of siege defense, I think it took like more than a month. And having research speed up of, I think what it was, 25% extra or not, or having even like the what's this called, the Korea civilization like research buff, and having like the scientist title buff, and having the research buff when before you actually start any of those research will save you tremendous amount of speed ups in terms of research speed ups for you to reach tier 5 units. And actually, I heard that if you don't spend on the game and you try to hit tier 5, try to unlock tier 5 units, it takes more than 2 years for you to actually reach and unlock any of those because of how long the speed ups have. And guess what? If you can reduce the speed ups that it requires by 10-20% by having those researches done in ahead of time, it would save you like weeks and months for you to actually, in terms of speed ups, for you to actually unlock those later part technologies. So make sure, again, mistake number 6, not doing building researches and research speed up researches first before you do other building and researches for your kingdom or for your governor city. It is a mistake that a lot of people make. I would highly suggest that you could do those beforehand, just because it's gonna save you a lot of research speed ups at the end of the day. All right. Sorry, I mumbled a little bit on that. I was like trying to think in my head, like, how do I say this? Okay. Again, make sure you do your building and research speed ups researches first before you actually start researching the higher technology, the T4 and onward technology at the end of the day. Okay, because they will save you a lot of speed ups at the end of the day over time. All right, and for the last mistakes that a lot of people make, and this is actually a mistake that I still make. So if you're one of those people who are in my live stream who are in the same kingdom as I am, you're gonna make fun of me. But the mistake that most people actually make in Rise of Kingdoms that will set your account's progress back by quite a lot is not spending all of your action points daily. Now, when you spend your action points in the game, you have a couple options. For one, you can actually you can actually rally Barb Force, which will give you a lot of speed ups as well as some resources, and also at the same time give you back some action points back for not only yourself but also for the entire alliance that you have, right? But you can see that my farm is not strong enough to kill those in an AoE farming. I didn't know that. But but if you don't spend your daily action points at the end of the day, there will be a huge difference between however much speed ups, gems, and resources that you can get from spending those compared to. Oh, let me say that again. If you don't spend your daily action points in this game, you will have a huge disadvantage in terms of gem count, speed ups, and resources versus people who actually actively spend those action points in the game. The simplest comparison that I have for you is actually another person in my kingdom called the Kevin. So I always lack a lot of speed ups because I don't have enough speed ups for most of the things that I do. And as you can see on my main, I have not used up all my action points. Uh, and I'm not following this advice myself too well. But if you don't spend your action points, you always run out of speed ups a lot faster than other people. As a matter of fact, one of my good subscriber to the game, to my channel, who is Kevin. Kevin is currently sitting at 117,000 honor points because he was farming barbs endlessly, and from farming that much honor points, he was able to gain 200 days of speed ups from this KVK alone because he was barb farming so much, barb training so much. So there's a difference between him and me where I am barely holding on to 200 days of speed ups in total in this KVK right now, versus him just getting 200 days of extra speed ups from barb training the entire KVK, right? There's so much. It is so important that you actually do barb chain in this game, and there's so much. It is so important that you actually gain those gems and speed ups from killing those barbs. If you're busy like me, you can just AoE farm like this. Like, just choose a cluster that is more than 2, and just send the march, right? Send the march, and then just find the different cluster that's more than 2. Because that will give you a lot of speed ups and gems. It is better than not doing it at all, And over time, and this KVK alone is like 30 days. We were in this KVK for like last 2 weeks. He was able to gain 200 days of speed ups in 2 weeks, basically. Just quite frankly speaking, right? So there'll be a tremendous amount of speed ups and gem count difference between those people who actually actively spend those action points versus people who don't, like myself. So make sure you are using your action points. You're emptying out action points every single day while you're actually playing this game, because there'd be a huge difference between people who do and people who don't. And I'm suffering from it right now. I spent through some of it, but still, I need to fix that habit. But again, make sure you spend your action points to the maximum on daily basis as much as possible. All right, so that is it for the 7 worst mistakes that you can make in Rise of Kingdom that can set your account back by days, months, if not years. And I make those mistakes still now, even though I played this game again for like what, last 1158 days, and I have like the best cavalry gear that you can possibly imagine, except for my hat. And I have a very decent armament, but even myself, I'm a rally lead for my kingdom. I play this game through and through, but even myself, I still make that simple mistake of not using my action points to the maximum. You can see that my action point was capped before I sent this archer out. That means I wasn't spending those action points as much as I should be. And don't make the same mistakes that I did. Don't make the same mistake that your peers make. Make sure to stay ahead of other people. You don't make any of those mistakes that I actually listed out today. All right, I hope this video was helpful for you, everyone. If you guys did find this video helpful, please go ahead and drop a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions about anything that I said in the game, please feel free to leave it on the comment down below or join my Discord and actually talk to me in Discord, because I always try to respond to everyone who asks me questions on my Discord channel. All right, but with all of that said, I hope this video was helpful. I thought this video was really, really meaningful because, in this game, unfortunately, making mistakes sets you back so much that I thought it was a good opportunity for me to actually say this right after releasing my pre-KVK guide, which gave you a lot of those tips and tricks. But then again, I thought there was more than just those that I gave in that video. So I thought it would be a good idea for me to make a separate video to explain all that. But again, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And with that said, I'll see you all in the next video. All right, peace.